The company Huion asked me to do a little review for their GT-220 pen display tablet, and I couldn't resist to test it out, so they provided me with this unit. While Wacom is the leading tablet provider, especially regarding monitor tablets, I was really curious to see what competitors have to offer, and if they actually can convince me. The tablet came in this big box. It looked a bit different from what I have seen so far from other reviews, but the content was protected nevertheless. Inside was the tablet, of course, as well as an installation manual for Windows and Mac, and all the necessary cables and accessories, such as the graphic stylus, a pen holder with a few pen nibs, a USB cable, a VGA cable, an HDMI cable, a power adapter and a glove. Since I only use Windows, I can say that the installation was not really complicated. Just keep in mind to uninstall any other tablet drivers first, and plug the USB cable in after successful driver installation. The connection ports are behind the tablet. I found the port location to be a bit too close to the table once the tablet is in use, because the cables get buckled and the stand will rest on the cables. You can avoid that a little bit if you move the cables to the side. The tilt mechanism of the stand is very handy and it works really well. The pen has an included battery, which you have to charge every once in a while. I charged it at the beginning of my test and after 2 weeks it's still working alright. It feels very light, which on the one hand feels a bit cheaper compared to Wacom pens, but on the other hand it's an advantage for when you are drawing for hours. The pen holder contains replacement nibs for the pen, just like the one by Wacom does. But let's talk about working with the tablet. As someone who's been using a Wacom Intuos for years, the first thing I noticed is that there are no customizable buttons on the tablet. There are plenty of people who prefer working with the keyboard instead of the buttons. But since I actually make use of those express keys, I had to readjust a little. So the only 2 buttons that you can put shortcuts on are the ones on the pen. That at least made it a bit easier for me. Then again, any modern stylus should have at least 1 or 2 buttons on it nowadays. On the positive side, I really like the design of the tablet. It looks very clean, just like a regular monitor. It's also thinner than I expected. The surface you are drawing on is glass, which I found to be strange first, but I got used to it very quickly. Leaving all this aside, I figured that working with this tablet is kind of similar to what I experienced when working with the Cintiq so far. There were no big issues regarding the pen pressure or something like that, and even the distance between the pen and the actual screen is alright for me. I tried the tablet with Photoshop and Clip Studio, and it got the job done with both programs. So in conclusion, I think the tablet is alright. It's definitely not flawless, but considering it's around $1,000 cheaper than a Cintiq of the same size, you have to expect some drawbacks. As I mentioned, the position of the cable ports is not ideal, and also there are no express keys. But there's no real deal breaker on the thing. The unit that was sent to me was working just fine, and definitely worth considering if you want to work on a monitor tablet. That being said, please keep in mind, monitor tablets, regardless of the brand, are not magical tools which automatically make you better at drawing. Unfortunately, there's no shortcut for that. I speak from experience, since I bought a Cintiq about 2 years ago, but still ended up using my old Intuos. Monitor tablets are great for doing line arts, I figured, but because I like painting more, it wasn't making things easier for my routine. Drawing is also about fun and motivation, and under those circumstances they might help. I hope this review was helpful, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.